Is he taking a lot of criticism or what for his choice of words when speaking about Hillary Clinton? Listen to this.
Everything that's been involved in Hillary has been losses. You take a look. Even a race to Obama. She was going to beat Obama. I don't know who'd be worse. I don't know. How does it get worse? But she was going to beat. She was favored to win. And she lost.
Now, okay, we beeped it out. That's a reference to the male anatomy. Everyone knows what we're talking about here. The Clinton camp responded with this. We are not responding to Trump, but everyone who understands the humiliation this degrading language inflicts on all women should. Look who is here. Andrea Tantaros. Welcome back, Andrea. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Trump just walked right into that. I mean, he set himself up. Obviously, Hillary's going to say, it's the war on women. Listen to him. Foul-mouthed Trump. Look at him go. I'm not going to dignify it with a comment. He walked into it.
You know what? I think this is really bad for her. And I'm not going to take the bait on this one. You know why? Because I don't think people care about rhetoric this time around. That old dated playbook of let's change the discussion and let's get Stuart Varney and Andrea Tantaros to talk about a word that could possibly be offensive and hurt women's feelings. I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because Trump is winning the back and forth over this ISIS battle. He's very smart. As much as the New York Times and other media today wants it to make it about women's feelings, she lied about that video. And Trump is very smart. Engaging her in a fight that she will lose on Libya. She has lost. When the New York Times comes out and says that you lied, there is no propaganda video using Donald Trump. In fact, it is your husband, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. Hillary is majorly on the ropes, Stuart, this morning, in a big way.
Okay, but Trump's language doesn't count. In fact, it might be a plus for him. That's what you're saying.
You know why? Because look at the numbers. Look at the other story that's out today with blue-collar voters. The left has culturally tried to feminize this country in a way that is disgusting. And you see blue-collar voters, men. This is like their last vestige, their last hope is Donald Trump to get their masculinity back. I think you're going to see women potentially break with Hillary Clinton, even though Wall Street Journal reports that the numbers aren't there with millennial women in support of Hillary Clinton. And I think the big headline today is blue-collar voters are moving to Donald Trump, and President Obama conceded his fear in that NPR interview. This is a big story, and they are petrified, and they should be.
I'll give you another story, which I think is big. That's the Quinnipiac poll. They asked people, would you be embarrassed? I don't know the exact wording of the question. I'm sorry, I don't know the wording.
Would you be embarrassed? But the question
was, would you be embarrassed if Donald Trump were the president? Look at that. 50% said they would be embarrassed. That is a huge number, Andrea. And it's a very important number because when you vote for a president, you're voting for a person that you're going to see. You don't want to be embarrassed by that person for the next 4 years. 50% embarrassment is a big number. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm going to just respectfully disagree. One, because I think the polling on that's a little premature. You can go back and pull the numbers with Reagan and Carter, and it was almost a 40-point spread at that point. But here's why. And I learned this from Reagan's pollster, Dick Werthland. People don't vote based on whether or not they're embarrassed. They vote either by fear or someone who shares their values is going to protect them. This election, right now, if it were held today, it is who is going to protect them.
No, they vote on whether they like that person, comfortable with that person. Does that person adequately represent them?
You know what? I think that traditionally that may be true, but we are living in a different era. And the more you see Democrats wrong about this war against radical Islamic jihadism, the more you see the middle class completely being obliterated by the left. The more you see these attacks and a tone-deaf president and a Hillary Clinton who enabled and emboldened and allowed ISIS to blossom, you're going to see people vote a different way. This is a different game, a different era. It's a different campaign season.
So no one has to be presidential, Andrea, and that's good.
That good.
My problem is that does he seem presidential, and does that matter? The language he uses, the way he conducts himself.
That's why we started this campaign, though, with Megyn Kelly going after him about things he said, and he won that battle,
Which is entertaining, and people love it, but is it presidential?
Do you want that man in the Oval Office saying that kind of thing?
It reminds me of Plato's The Statesman. Right? I mean, he has the one quality that Plato says is great in a statesman, which is, adhering to his word and not bowing to political correctness. But then the other one, does he have the temperament Plato questioned? And I think a lot of people do have that question. However, as you point out so astutely, I think this is a different game, and I think people are sick and tired. Men are sick and tired of being feminized. People are sick and tired of having to apologize. They're sick and tired of hurt feelings. They're tired of it all, and the political correctness is not going to win. That playbook the Democrats have, they better toss it.
I also think that don't forget the pocketbook issue. The pocketbook issue is also very important for voters, and that isn't being talked about very much. But people think that Donald Trump is more likely to have a successful economy than Hillary Clinton.
It's a great
and that is really big.
It's a great point.
Andrea, are you on this program every Tuesday?
Only if you want me to be. I haven't been asked, but if you want to make me a regular.
Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays too.